Some people didn't fall in love with you. They fell in love with your lack of boundaries. You were just easier then, more available, more understanding, more willing to tolerate all these things that hurt you, not because you were stupid, but because you were surviving. And survival tends to make you agreeable. Some people didn't love you. They loved how little you required. See, when you're in survival mode, you don't ask for clarity. You don't ask for consistency. You don't ask for much at all. You're just trying to make it, because when you've been through enough, you start confusing the bare minimum with peace. So you accepted things you wouldn't accept now. You stayed quiet when things felt wrong. You overlooked what hurt. You overgave, hoping love would stabilize your life somehow. Survival doesn't look for love. It looks for relief. But then it shifts. Then something happened. You got stronger. You started noticing patterns and red flags. You started using your instincts and asking questions. And suddenly, you weren't as easy to control anymore. You started saying, that doesn't sit right with me, or I need more than that. I'm not okay with this. And now, you're different. You're different. You've changed. You didn't change. You just stopped tolerating what hurt you. Here's the part that nobody wants to talk about, and it gets uncomfortable. Some people do not like the healed version of you because the healed version of you is harder to control, harder to manipulate, harder to keep, because survival made you so flexible. Healing tends to make you firm. Your healing didn't make you harder to love. It just made you harder to use. And now you're confused because you're becoming healthier, but the relationship feels weaker. You're becoming clearer, but the connection feels like it's strained. So you start asking yourself, did I change too much? But maybe you didn't change too much. You just stopped being convenient. Some relationships will feel so strong until you start developing boundaries. And here's the twist. They didn't just fall in love with your survival. You fell in love with it too. Because when you were surviving, you felt chosen, you felt needed, you felt wanted, and now you're not just losing them, you're losing the version of you that accepted less just to feel loved. And that's the part that no one wants to talk about. Sometimes you don't miss them, you miss how wanted you felt when you were willing to accept less in your life. Some people fell in love with the version of you that tolerated pain. And when you healed, they said, you changed. If this one hit, share this with someone who's growing and wondering why everything feels so different. Subscribe, like, share, because sometimes healing doesn't just change you. It reveals who was comfortable with your survival.